Morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. And to those of you who tell me that you watch my videos in the middle of the night, I say, good grief. But if they help you fall asleep, or if they entertain you, by all means, watch them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about fractions. Even though fractions are one of the most basic, fundamental topics in math, they give a lot of people trouble. Why do fractions cause so much friction? Well, let's look at it this way. Let's say we have 3 and 2/5. That's a mixed number, or as they say in the States, a compound fraction. In fact, I think fractions give a lot of people compound fractures. This is one of the few times, if not the only time in math, where if there's no symbol between the two numbers, it doesn't mean multiply. For example, if you have 3x, that means 3 times x. If you have 5 times -4 in brackets, that means multiplication. But here, as you may know, it means 3 plus 2/5. That could be a cause for confusion. We say 3 and 2/5. And here means plus, not multiply. So if I want to add those properly, I need to change the 3 to a certain number of fifths, because as you know, you have to have a common denominator. And by the way, you don't need a common denominator for multiplying and dividing. A lot of people get one. It's not necessary. It works, but it's not necessary. So 3 is what number divided by 5? Well, 15. So if I add that together, I get 17/5. We were taught way back in elementary school that just multiply these two numbers and add 2, and sure enough, that gives you 17, because 3 is 15/5, which is 3 times 5. Now let's add a couple more complicated fractions. Let's say we add 3/5 and 3/7. If I draw a picture of these fractions using a pie graph, so to speak, or a pizza, 3/5 is this pizza divided into 5 equal parts, and you take 3 of them. It's not that easy to do, so let me just see if I can estimate that first of all. I would say that's not too bad. So 1, 2, 3/5, and 3/7 would be if I divide it into 7 equal parts. And this is harder to do. I'll do my best. And I'd say that looks pretty darn good. So 1, 2, 3. You might be thinking I've got a common numerator here. We don't talk about a common numerator, of course, but those numbers are the same. And before we actually work that out, let's guess if this is going to be more than 1 or less than 1. What do you think? Just go with your gut feeling. We'll find out. Now, I can't just add these slices of pizza because they're not the same size. These are smaller than these ones, so I have to make them the same size. That's what getting a common denominator is. So if I divide each one of these into 7 equal slices, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, let's assume they're the same, and I divide one of these into 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then these blue slices are exactly the same size. So here I have 3 of them. So, and if I was to divide that up into 7 slices for each one of those, I'd have 35 slices. And if I was to divide each one of those into 5 slices, I'd also have 35 slices. So here I have 3 big pieces. They're each 7 small ones. That's 3 times 7, 21. And here I have 3 big ones. Each one is 5. So that's 3 times 5, 15 over 35. And now I can add them because we're talking about how many slices are the same size. That gives me 36/35, which is more than 1. So that would have been hard to predict. It's more than 1, it's not less than 1. You could say it's more or less 1 if you catch my drift. So that's how you add fractions. The slices have to be the same. If you picture this, it should make it a lot easier for you. I think I'll do another video on multiplying and dividing. See you next time.